Thank you for joining Ryan and I for another episode of Dad and the Jiu-Jitsu Kid. Right before we get into our podcast today with our guest, I just want to make sure that if you're a first-time listener, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to follow and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Dad and the Jiu-Jitsu Kid on YouTube. Also, to make sure you hit follow up on the website. It's where we post a lot of the content there, and links to YouTube and to Google Play from our website. And also from iTunes and Stitcher from our website at www.dadandthejiujitsukid.com. And on social media, make sure you follow us on Instagram, where we do most of the interactions or any kind of updates on for our shows and guests or any kind of announcements we have is on Instagram. And that's at Dad and the Jiu-Jitsu Kid. And you can follow Ryan at bjjryanbjj. So anyways, but we got awesome part of history of Jiu-Jitsu. If you're in Jiu-Jitsu, it's always an amazing thing to meet somebody who was there or somebody who is part of history. And you can't get much closer to Jiu-Jitsu history than mentioning a Gracie. Today we had for this weekend for our academy where my family trains at, where I help coach, was our 5th anniversary of the academy opening, and we had Master Carlson Gracie Junior come out and give a seminar on Friday and Saturday for kids and adults, and on Sunday before his flight, we met up and were able to sit down with quite a bit of time actually right before his flight, before he had to rush out, and sit down and pick history apart. I mean, a lot of us have seen updates and have seen videos of him and talk about his father and then the history about it. So a lot of us are familiar with that. And what I didn't want to do, I didn't want to have him regurgitate everything again over and over and over again. But I wanted to have a conversation with him, just from his point of view, and not having, how I wanted him to explain how his views are on what his outcomes have been, and, but just get his perspective on life. And he did an amazing job. And also, too, he broke some really big news, and you're going to want to stick around and listen to the entire thing, because it's going to get out that he's this news that he broke on here on the podcast that he wanted to break here, actually. So stick around and enjoy the show, and make sure you listen to past episodes, too, and hit that subscribe button so you get updated on any kind of new episodes that are going to be coming out really soon. All right, guys, thanks for listening.
What is this?
The show is about nothing. It's about a man and his kid.
Does he have superpowers too?
Dad and the Jiu-Jitsu Kid.
He's just a special kid.
You are now DQ'd.
Fight!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 25 of Dad and the Jiu-Jitsu Kid. And like every episode that we have, it's a huge honor to have somebody to take the time with us to sit down on their busy schedules. And we always try to bring somebody and meet with somebody that you want to hear from, to learn from, and kind of have the same philosophy and values as a jiu-jitsu parent or a jiu-jitsu practitioner, or just a parent in general. If you're watching, we do have a nice following of people that even don't do jiu-jitsu that listen to us. But today's special guest is an amazing guest in a historical sense. He is one of the most famous people that I've ever come across, and his story and his not just his family, but of himself and what he's done for jiu-jitsu currently, in the past, and right now as the present, and then what the plans in the future are. Master Carlson Gracie Junior, thank you for joining us.
Okay, how are you doing, guys? How's everything?
Good. Thank you.
I'm
Good.
happy to be here and say a few words for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Encouragement.
Yeah, we always look forward to. We always look for words of encouragement for you. And we were in town for first of all for our 5-year anniversary for this location, for our team.
Carlson Gracie Gilbert, Arizona. Yeah. They're doing a great job here. And I always love coming down here to visit, this academy. Feel like a very family oriented, and people are training in the right direction, and people very honest and, family environment. And it's good for the kids, for the adults, and for everybody, Jiu-Jitsu is life. So
Yes, yeah. We had a lot. We had a great time. We had Friday. We had the kids on Friday, and we had Friday night adults classes. Then we had Saturday adult classes and promotions. A lot of awesome promotions. A lot of emotional promotions too.
So many people.
How do you when you? I mean, because when you go to travel along the different seminars. And you see all the promotions. Do you still get the same feeling like when you see somebody get their blue belt and or their purple, black or black even too? Because I think it's always emotional when people get their blue belt and their black belt.
What I believe is this: like I think every school they do a little bit in different way, and what I see is like you don't know what the person went through to get to where he's getting. So many people show up in the gym for many different reasons. I believe it's very boring to go pay a club to lift the weight and, you don't get nothing from there. Just going to look good. But I think people in the academy and when they join is becoming like a must, like people love to do it. So they come with many different reasons, It's difficult to identify because so many people get here, they're a little bit shy and, they start, mix it up with the people and then they become a part of the family, It's you join a gym, a jiu-jitsu gym, or, any other sport, but specifically we talk about jiu-jitsu. So when you come in, you feel like it's your second house. So you want to always hang out. There's always some new things happening and I think it all together come with the techniques and the sparring and the training and the, friendship. But everyone walk in with different minds. So it's very important the instructor identify the goals and support 100%. And in this school here in Gilbert, that their goal has been achieved. Like everybody successfully get promoted. It's hard to get promotion here. It's different in the other schools. I think Carlson Gracie lineage, they have the tradition of, I'm not saying holding back belts, because belts mean nothing. It's just the way you can, motivate your student and give him the credit to what he done so that he get the belt.
Yeah, we had our professor Alex touched on it when, and it's emotional because we see a lot of people, we got their blue belts and everybody has a different goal. And some people never even come in with the idea like, oh, I never want to compete in a tournament. And you see a lot of times there are people like, well, they compete with themselves, that they want to make themselves better, and they're here every day. And that's why yesterday it was hard to watch. Like, there's a few people that got their blue belts and they were like, it was amazing to watch because you saw where they came from when they walked in, and then you saw like where they're at now, and you see
the transformation.
Yes.
Is amazing. Like I said, people come in for different goals. Like some people come in just to make friends. Some people got this mindset to be a competitor, or they come for different sport and they see opportunity. You see people do MMA, they need ground training. But what's so beautiful about this school here, everybody has the same mind. There's no ego. Everybody help. It's like a really family environment. So that's why I loved coming down here. So I like the kind of environment. I try, interact with everybody, like make the ambience like a kind of relaxing and
it is.
Fun.
It's hard.
It's so mellow here,
It is.
There's no ego. So whoever out there listen to this, like if you're looking up for a good environment for training jiu-jitsu, you should come to the Carlson Gracie Gilbert, Arizona.
Well, thank you. It is, and it's a really. My wife trains here, my son, and then my other son who was sick. Also, he didn't come. He was going to come to the class, and he has the flu. My other son too. And it's really brought us, and not just jiu-jitsu. We could talk about, everybody knows the story about our family, how we got into it. My wife and my son got into it first. But when it brings something where you bring your family together. I mean, there's not many sports like that. There's not many sports.
It's very difficult.
There's not a whole lot you can. I mean, you can't. Your son can play football, but it's not like the mom and dad are going to play football too.
It's not going to be like that. Yeah.
No, they can go watch and support and everything and do all that, but where the parents can be part of it, and where they live the lifestyle of jiu-jitsu, and the kids live the lifestyle, and not just training, but also too like, okay, I got to eat right. I have the commitment of going.
You need all that. It's come all the things behind, good sleep, like a safe, how do you say, health, diet, and, stay away from drugs and alcohols, and, you know how it is. So, so many people out there is always going to have a friend to tell you, hey, guys, let's go to the bar, have a drink, but it's very rare you get a friend say, hey, man, come on, let's work out. Let's go do something fun.
Yeah, let's go train first.
Yeah,
and then let's go.
Yeah, so it's always a little bit of the devil in the shoulder when somebody try to bring you out for the right direction. I'm not saying, I don't want people to say I'm criticized, but I think is everything too much is too much. So if you do too much party and not do any exercise, it's not good for your health. And it's the same way, if you do too much exercise, you don't have any fun, it's not good either. So you have to moderate your life and flow through there.
Yeah, that's I like that, because moderation. And I think jiu-jitsu also too, because I think people get so, I don't know, do you see it, or from your years of experience, is jiu-jitsu also in moderation and when training? Or is it, 5 times a day,
I'm
every day?
not the right person to say that, because I went to extremely, in my career as a competitor, I train every day and lots of hours, but I eat good food, I have a healthy life, but I'm not a good example. I'm an example for whoever wants to compete.
Yeah.
But, if you just want to have a regular life, because that's what scares a lot of people, because jiu-jitsu is getting a big identity in America. Before, jiu-jitsu was just something you learn and you use for MMA, because, you do that thing, MMA? No, it's jiu-jitsu, it's a different thing. But if you see, jiu-jitsu, the ground system is the key from the MMA. Otherwise, it's going to be a boxing match with no gloves, or now they have gloves. When I fought, there was no gloves. So it's like two macho guys try hit each other, kick each other, knee each other, elbows. But when you got the element of the takedowns and ground, then become the mixed martial arts, or the Vale Tudo used to call. So, my background, I would say I'm not a big example for the person want to do moderate, because for who knows the Carlson Gracie history, we have the best in everything, not just only MMA or only jiu-jitsu. We have the best team, and we have the best coach. So in my father's school was a rough training. So people train very hard, and people do everything they could to honor my father's name, because my father was doing the same thing to them, training them from the heart, And
I think that's a lot of the stories that you hear about, even if you read online or watch the videos or hear people talk about your father, Master Carlson. It's always like you always heard like he was a tough son of SOB.
Yeah. But he gave everything he has for the students.
Yes.
He never looking up for a financial interest, and he never, I would just say like this, let me put it this way. Probably 90% of the students didn't pay academy. So honestly, I was too young. I don't know how the academy survived, but, when I was getting higher rank, I became a partner for my father too. And I started to understand the financial. Then I took over for the 1 or 2 years, and the academy actually has become more, profitable. So,
yeah.
But before, it was no money. So always just pay the bills.
Just
I mean-
enough to pay the lights and the.
Look, we in the United States is like people come to make money, but back in Brazil is like, we come here to teach here and make money. Nobody just come here for everybody. That's the pretty much like the rule in this country. Everybody chase a dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
But in Brazil, my father just want to prove his team was the best. So he didn't care much about the financial part. And I mean, who am I to say he was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way he liked it. So he's the master. We can talk and help, but that's the way he do it. So, I mean.
How was it when in those times, and he was always notorious, like, like that era in the late 80s, 90s of
Yeah,
and
like
then,
Jiu-Jitsu started becoming very popular in around 1981, 82
in Brazil.
in Brazil when they started having this big tournament called the Copa Company.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a kind of nice brand in Brazil. Then it start other surf shops, company interest to run a tournament. And then everything started roll like that. So then was established the Brazilian Federation. They already have the state, the National Federation. And then after UFC came to America. But we, all these big like competitors from the 80s and 90s, mostly then here in America, That's why we just switched place. Everybody came to America, and I'm very grateful for this country because they really, receive me like a part of the, like a born here. So I'm American citizen too. So I love this country, and I'm not planning to move from here, from nowhere. I love my country, but one thing I see in America, you meet so many people, so many cultures. I live in Chicago, so I meet people from many countries, and we get to learn about cultural things and see it in a different way. In Brazil, we just fight and fight. So and a little bit of surf and soccer. So
The lifestyle.
yeah, I went to college I graduated college, but just because my mom pushed me to do it. She said, I don't want a vagabond in my house. I want to go to college. So I have to go college. I graduate as a physical education, and then I moved to America. And came to do MMA, ended up staying here. And I love it. So, but back in the days, we like a savage, man. Like people train so hard, and we don't want to lose for nobody. And it was very rare somebody on our team lose because we usually dominate all the tournaments. So it was very rare. We used to get first, second place. And then the other teams start growing. That's was when they start opening different schools. People getting black belts, they start opening their own gyms. And like here now, it's popping gyms everywhere.
So in the tournaments back in those days, was it kind of the same setup? You had the divisions, the breakdowns.
Yeah, same setup.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was not many teams. I remember when I start compete, it was 4 teams. It was a Kyoto, Oriente.
The team?
The teams.
Okay.
They don't even the people don't even know about that much. And the Gracies and Monir Salomon Academy. So there's just the Gracies is all together. Is a different schools, but we do the elimination to get the team for the tournament. But then through the time, my daddy was major students for my daddy, and then they decided to start a split. They decide they want to do their own team, and my dad said it was okay. So my daddy go in Carlson Gracie, and then start the Gracie team, and then Halls Gracie was a partner of my father, and my father's school, the original Carlson
Halls
Gracie.
is your
My uncle,
your
his,
uncle,
his
father.
died like
Yeah.
many years ago. You know, so he was a partner with my father. They have the school together, and then Halls has his students. My father has his students, and they all go for tournament. And first they doing the elimination, but then they decide to separate. And then the Carlson Gracie and Gracie Muay Thai, and the Halls Gracie has his team. Gracie Muay Thai was from my uncle William. So, and then when Halls died, Carlos Gracie Junior took over his academy, but then he decided to move to Baja. That's when he started the Gracie Baja. Baja Gracie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was originally Baja Gracie?
Baja Gracie is the original name in Brazil, but in America it's a Gracie Baja.
Oh, okay.
It's the same
Same thing. You're just back here.
Yeah. So,
and it's funny because a lot of people don't know that Halls and your father were the
Halls,
teammates.
Yeah, Halls was an amazing fighter. They say he was the best of the family. I should think my daddy was the best of the family for sure. For what I saw. What I saw, nobody take off on my eyes. So when they training, closed doors, and I'm there. So, but training is a training, fight is a fight. But even they are being brothers, they train very hard. And with the support of my father, Halls got the level. He became the famous Halls Gracie, training under my father. Not many people know about that, and just like to let people know that.
So in Brazil, did you guys have like a certain schedule that you trained?
Well, the academy is open pretty much almost the whole day, So if you want to go train at 10 o'clock at night, you just look it up in the window. If the window was with the lights on, the guy could be training there for 3 hours. You show up, he'll be training with you, And that was the spirit, Everybody support each other until the financial things just start kicking in. Like some people getting paid for tournaments, Abu Dhabi, and the MMA is in Japan. So that's caused a big trouble. And because it's very hard when you actually not charging or anything.
Yeah, you got to pay the
You
bills.
start with the wrong step. That's what I always tell my father. You should charge these people, and then, don't worry, Joe, don't worry. I say, okay. So what am I going to say? The master say, I'm just his son, what am I going to tell him?
Yeah, you got to do what he says.
Yeah, but when they put him in charge of the academy, then the academy start making some money.
Yeah, you got to find a financial. I mean,
it's important. You don't get anything if you don't have money.
Yeah, and I think I like that because it's one of the things that I always you always say like, oh, okay, it's jiu-jitsu is changing because they're trying to make money off of jiu-jitsu now, and in a sense, like, okay, that could be bad and good. The bad thing is like, okay, you only care about the money part of it, and also too is like, okay, well, you have to pay the bills, you have to have a roof over the head.
That's why people don't understand. They come into the Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. If they follow the curriculum in the program, they got a job after that. So they are paying for going to college. They go into college. If you can, after open a business, you get the black belt diploma for some elite coach, for somebody famous, somebody well-known as instructor. So you get the black belt. It's like the list of the black belts of my father. Everybody want to be in the list. They even fake it, photos and stuff to be in the list. So you can change what is the truth, But they say it's too expensive. People pay thousands of dollars to go to college just to get a little paper, and they go work and they don't find job. In jiu-jitsu, you get job anywhere. You just, if you're a good instructor, if you come for a good lineage, you got a pedigree,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so you are somebody, So you can go open a school. So we're giving a job to people, and they can actually, if they follow the program, they'll be ready. But what is that expensive to pay like $150 a month for that? They pay that for cell phone.
They pay that for coffee.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
You go to Starbucks every day, you spend that. But that's what people don't notice. They go in the bar and spend $300 a night to try and impress people.
Oh, I can't afford jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I don't have money for jiu-jitsu. Oh, man, come on, please. If you squeeze yourself, you can do it.
Oh
you know?
yeah. There's
But
a
some people
sacrifice.
really can't. But you can see when they're, don't really care about you.
Yeah. Like back in Rio, like so say like Ryan, if I brought Ryan into your school for class, like how would he start off? Like how would he the kids class and then
they do go for the kids class. We used to have a 2 kids class, then a beginner, we used to have a 2 mats. That's why people don't know. 1 mat was just for the competitors. So you couldn't even get in. So if you're not invited to go to that side, you're not go there because as soon as you walk in, they will kick your butt really bad until you leave or you stay. But it was a period of time where the adult people or, certain age, they stick around on the instructional mat. Then the other side was the competitors.
Okay.
So the kids stay in the instructional side. And a certain time in the afternoon, they're like teenagers, they go for the competitors' side too. So I used to teach a class for them.
Oh, okay.
So, but Ryan will show up and he'll buy his uniform, put his white belt, and come in. He will learn all the basic moves, like basic falls, back falls, front falls, roll, hip escapes, bridge, and technical stand-up. A little bit of a defensive punch, take it down. Something simple, like the basic curriculum, which one is developed by my grandfather, and it was in the first school, they have the whole system of self-defense. Then after you pass the self-defense program in my grandfather's school, then you start learning how to fight on the ground. So we go for like 36 classes of
the self-defense and fighting.
Around the 36 classes, you get some amount of classes of self-defense and a little bit basic on the ground. Then you start a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But then with in my father's school, it was the same way. You first go like 8 classes, but not them amount, because everybody want to fight, So the sports was already developed, like in 1970s. So it was already starting the Rio de Janeiro Federation, a few tournaments a year. So people start training more like we call like the sparring in America, right? So it started the rollings, the people roll, and then the kids engage in that, and then once a year or twice a year they have the state tournament, and from the other side of the Rio de Janeiro called Niterói, they have the federation there too. So then they compete in there too. So it was 1, 2, sometimes 3 tournaments a year.
Oh, okay.
And the mats was so rough. So when you get out to look like you fought a cat, because the mat was the
mats itself?
The mats, you burn yourself. Like the real tatami is the green tatami. Now people say, this mat's no good.
Pillows.
I look and say, what? What are you talking about? Now, it's just get a little bit more more professional. Back then, we do what we can, and anyway, got us somewhere, got us here. So
yeah, how do you at the curriculum from back when you were running at the academy in Rio? How is it? How do you think it's it's obviously probably changed a lot from today than back then.
We focus a lot, and the person learn how to understand the body and the move and a little bit of the balance, and learn how to walk and standing up. Nowadays everybody pull guard. The system of guard developed so much, but back then it was a different style of guard. It's more towards to MMA, because people fight MMA a lot to prove the system was effective. It was a lot, many years of fighting to make sure the Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, my grandfather developed, was good enough to become like a sport. And so it was a different style. It's not as open it is right now. I think more grow the population of Jiu-Jitsu, more technique is gonna come, because it's more heads think. So if they are all good, yeah, they might be good for tournament, but for a street situation, probably not. So that's why it's competition thing and the self-defense and the basic, controlling and escape for bad positions. So that's was the mostly focus, like somebody mounting you, how you get out the mount. If you get somebody mounting somebody, how control the mount, stuff like that, How you control the person, the guard, without get striking. It's a different kind of view, but, it's kind of similar what I did with the kids Friday here. So teach them a little bit of a self-defense on the ground. Because people, self-defense is stand up. No, you're in the ground. When you get in the ground, what are you going to do? You're going to play hook guard, spider guard, beating bolo, so you can't do that, So they need to understand it is one thing is a tournament, and another thing is a real life.
Yeah.
So back then, we focused a lot in the real life, and you focus, after you start understand a little bit of defend yourself, then you start learning how to attack. Then you start learning how to submit. Then you start learning different things, But mostly you learn is all for protect yourself. So that's, I think back then the people are so tough, because they fight a lot. My father's school is very common, the MMA fight, open hand and try not punch, but slapping in the face and the body and go for take it down on the ground. So stuff like that, Then, but nowadays it's kind of rough because people get a little bit scared, It's not everybody want to get to that type of training.
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, is that something that you would like to see, or you think jiu-jitsu now today present is missing that not just the toughness part of it, but the aspect of like you were saying, the old school mentality of the tough training. That's sort of
the job has to be done, So otherwise people say, what is this? Jiu-jitsu, what is this, So you have to prove that works, for them be accept. So why the jiu-jitsu become so famous in America? Because my cousin Royce went there and destroyed big guys, Of course, right after they start learning a little bit of jiu-jitsu and then become a little bit harder for him. But just because they start learning ground. It's not because they are using what they know. Yeah. They saw something in this. And everybody sees something in this. And then it's become popular. And then they see the real jiu-jitsu. It's not MMA. It's another thing. So it's two ways you can look at it. If you want to do jiu-jitsu for street fight, and if you want to go for the tournament. I think if it's softened up, I will not say that because there's so many great competitors right now. If they are MMA fighters, we don't know. But back then, it's not everybody either. Myself, I did 2 MMA fights. I could do more, but it's not something I like. You know what I mean? But I have a cousins of mine, they did 50s, 60s, and they're still doing. But just because they want to do it, I never have much interest on it, but it's not me I'm scared and I can't do it. It's just because, I went through college, I used to do state team judo from,
in Rio.
In Rio, and the Greco-Roman and wrestling national team from Brazil. So I went more for sports. I tried to go to the Olympic Games. And then after I moved to America, in 1995, I have a car accident. That's the main reason I stopped to compete. I hurt myself, and my daddy didn't want me to compete. So like a few years ago, I decided to go to the Master Worlds.
That was, yeah.
And it was very nice because I motivated so many people, so many of my old students. They still thank me. Like for the last 3 years, they pull out, so man, the master is going to go compete. So I'm going to take my kimono off of my closet and I'm going to go train.
Dust it off.
Yeah, I got third place,
I remember Ryan and I went, Ryan and my other son, we went, and it's that picture we have on the wall up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture. Lisa took that picture.
I was talking to my father.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I was looking to him and say, I'm going to do this, Oh,
I get goosebumps. I'm like getting emotional just looking at the picture. And we'll post a picture up, and it's a great picture. And it looked like when you were there, okay, there's like I think at that like 3 years, that was however many years ago it was, like 4 years. Was it 4 years ago?
It's 3 years ago.
3 years ago. There was like 24 mats, I think. But then when your bracket was being called up, everybody started going.
Oh, it was so many people. I don't even, it's a countless. I don't know.
And then we got there early. Like, okay, we got our stands. There's a famous picture that he had, that Ryan is on he sat right up front, and he's like right on the mat, and he's like looking over, and he's little. He has his gray and white belt because he was running around
have the photo.
Yeah, he's running around and getting everybody's autograph, and then I lost my other son, and he was with you, and they were calling me over
yes,
come get your son, and he was hanging out with you, so it was a mess. But anyway, so
I just would like to thank everybody. Cheers for me that day. I did the best I could. The whole idea was to motivate people and to bring motivation for the Carlson Gracie team. I think we're in the right direction right now. Like people are very motivated, and people, looking up us like we building up back the team. After whatever happened in the past with my father and his students, that's over. So we just have to think about ahead, and that what I did, it was just because I want to do it. And when my daddy 10-year anniversary year, compete against his will, because he didn't want to, because he worried about my injuries, but I say it was necessary to do it to motivate my team, to see so many people out there want to do it, but they think they couldn't do it. But if you want, you can. It's all in your mind, I want to do it next year again, just let people know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm starting preparing for next year. Regardless win or lose, I just want to motivate my people, I want my students see they can do it. Even, because results, it's just the result, Is win or lose, I think you're already the champion just to be there, to prepare for, to take your time to do all this. Because, whoever go for tournament, they know how hard it is. The cost, the time, they stay, especially the older people, stay away for the family, take time to the gym, prepare, eat right, you sleep early, training, the regimen, over and over and over and over. That's good, that's good, and then me doing that motivated so many people. I have so many guys is like they send me a message through the time. Oh, thank you, man. Motivate. So that motivated me too. So I like to. Oh,
it was amazing. I like some of the pictures that were out there of you're on the mat and you're with your first competitor, your first match, and then you see and you coaching you, screaming, and you see like all your old students in the coaching area, like they're coaching you. And you see all but I mean, if you weren't there, if you're listening, if you were there, the whole mat, was on that mat.
I know, and when I saw with so many people scream, I think the tournament stopped.
I mean, you would have thought that, that's the kind of like when Buchecha fights, and like, oh, that's like, but the whole convention center went to one area. Just making me feel like, because one thing was very difficult for me when my father died, is like becoming the leader of the team, So, not I didn't think I was ready, but the star of my father shining so strong is hard to replace, and I don't ever think about it gonna replace him. But I think me motivating my team, I think it's just build up a friendship and move. Just the movement, like make everybody move ahead, Everybody want to be the best they can and represent, like the spirit my father always have, Go there, fight, give them much you have. Win or lose, as long as you don't act like a quitter, he's happy, Because if you quit, that means you don't have a heart. If you not quit, that means you can win. So it's all inside you, People just not discover, Just with time, you can see like people coming for jiu-jitsu, they change their personality completely because they build up inner strength. It's not easy to get being choked,
and suffocate, and at the same time have to perform and defend yourself, and
Or be comfortable with someone on mount on you.
Yes, it's so many things is happening in the fight. So prepare you for anything in your life. You know, you're not gonna. I remember I used to be so skinny. You know, I used to be light featherweight. I used to get smashed so much, and I get home, I go shower, my face is all burned when people choke over their face and their mouth. Yeah, people was not very like a nice.
Yeah, back then.
Oh no, they want to choke. They want to choke you. They want to smash you. It was very tight. My father's school is famous for pressure. So like whoever is in the battle is getting pressure like a full time. So being 60 kilograms doesn't help him much. So I just stay for a little bit at the top when I actually able to survive.
Yeah.
But make me strong. So I think
it's hard. I mean, I tell
to
when,
get pressure is smash and choke all the same time. You protect yourself.
and then to do
You
all
have
that,
to be very calm and
to
comfortable.
to be. That's what I tell when people first come in and they're like, "Oh, well, what do I need to do? What should I focus on?" I'm like, I tell them, just focus on being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. Be comfortable when someone's on mount on top of you. Be comfortable when someone has your back, so you're not like flailing around and getting tired. Be comfortable with someone.
Yes, it's hard to coordinate.
Their stomach's on your face.
Your breathing, your thinking, your moves. That's why like the basic classes is important, because the person start learning how to move themselves at the same time they breathe. Because the problem is in jiu-jitsu, you have to keep it moving. So if you don't breathe right, if you not spend less energy than you need, you know, you cannot use your whole force in one move because you spend all your energy for nothing. So you have to be able to switch grips and things. So think and breathe and move all together. That takes time. So I think the basic curriculum would apply back in Brazil in all the Gracie schools. Each one is still applying in some of the Gracie schools in America. So that foundation is now the first classes, like learn how to fall, how move, stand up, how to sit, roll, and bridge, and this and that. So all help you to slowly relaxing your body and understand you have to move. So it's a coordination move. They do a lot of, you know, it's very famous, I think in San Diego, they do a lot of the ginástica natural, you know, for a movement and breathing. So jiu-jitsu is it's very similar concept, you know. You have
like
to
capoeira kind of movement, or
no, the ginástica natural is some system they have. You can probably Google on the internet, you'll find it. The creators in Brazil was Rolando Cani, so a very famous guy. He's the one developed the system, and you know, people in America follow. I think some other countries in the world too. But I think it's kind of famous in San Diego. I think they do a lot of that.
oh, okay.
I think where the guy teaches there, Alvaro Romano, so he teaches there. So it's a good movement because you learn how to breathe and move at the same time. That's about jiu-jitsu, you know, you got to breathe and move. And in different directions. It's not like you're learning how to run. You get the form of run, you just do the thing. You not do 1, 2, 3, and move here, move it. So jiu-jitsu got to move your whole body at the same time, you know. Use the legs, the hands, the hips.
Do it all at the same time.
All the same, and that require breathing. Otherwise, you stiff
You
it
hold
up.
your breath. That's like the first day.
You tap out for yourself.
Yeah.
I tap, I can breathe.
Yeah, you're holding your breath the whole time. You're like
exactly. That's
turning blue.
That take a little time until the guys start relaxing.
Yeah. And going back to, I like hearing the old stories of Rio and just jiu-jitsu in general, and who in that era back then, do you think that style of jiu-jitsu, that top pressure game, that grind, because that's the one, and it's true, because everybody you hear Carlson Gracie, it's top pressure. You hear it from anybody. It's top pressure smash, I think out there they have so many guys. They have a very top pressure, but the style is different now. It's many different guards. You know, like they use the lapel, they use the collar, they use the belt. You know, it's become, like I said, as more the population grow, more head thinks, and if the rules allow, they use.
you know? So the grips on the, you know, the guard is different and the objective is different. You know, the rules, they keep changing the rules because people learn how to play the rule and they have to change the rule to make it more dynamic, you know? So, you know, it's, people have a pressure now. It's just in a different way. It's more fast and everybody now do a lot of physical training, you know, supplements and stuff. Back then, our supplements is honey before training, you know? That's our supplement. It didn't exist protein shake and nothing like this that people take. You know, and I still a little bit not taking too much of that stuff too. Sometimes I do, but I like real food, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, our pre-training was some like a honey, spoon of honey and then go training. So
the sugar in it.
some sugar in the system, sugar rush. But, and, you know, some of that good diet to give you energy, you know, fruits and, you know, not too much bread.
Yeah.
A lot of like fruits and.
Not a whole lot's changed then. I mean, it's just basic. It's like basic nutrition. And and one of the famous pictures that I love, and it kind of I like it because it shows a student and professor or student and teacher is the one where Valid
lay down in my daddy's lap.
In your daddy's lap.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like, I mean, I don't know the background of that picture, but I always picture it like, okay, maybe was it like, I like to picture it as it was a brutal, tough day, and your father was yelling at him all day.
Yeah, my father used to tell the people before fight they rest, because my daddy, believe it or not, you know, he's when he was going to his MMA fights, he usually sleep. They have to wake him up till he go fight. And then he shake his head and move a little bit the shoulder, the legs, and go fight. You know? He always is sleepy before the match. You know? So he never dare like walk around anxious about the fight. No, he just lay down. So he probably that picture, you know, I don't know the caption either, but probably Valide was gonna go fight or something. But they said, lay down here a little bit and rest a little bit for take a little nap.
Yeah.
To relax. You know, like people get too anxious when they're gonna fight. They're nervous, you know, like, and then they don't perform. You know, less you think is better. Some people hide themselves in the room before they go to fight. No, man, you got to be exposed to people. You know, you have to be outside and talk to people like a normal day. You know, if you are ready, you're ready. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the thing people hide. Oh, I gotta fight. Oh, I gotta stay in the room. So then you get all stiffed up and you just think about one thing. You don't talk to nobody, so you get so nervous.
When everybody's there, now you get nervous.
You gotta be in public, man. So you better be in public the whole time, you know, not change environments, huh?
Yeah. The how do you back then? Because Valide is it's a very most famous.
Me and Valide, we got black belt same day, you know.
Oh wow, okay.
So we train a lot together. Valide is a tough guy. He never quit. He rather died than quit.
That was one of the sort where Master Hay was here with us too this week, and he was talking. You guys were talking about that he hated losing.
He hated, and but you know, he's my daddy. When he met him, he's man. Valide was very uncoordinated, and I don't think anybody else could make Valide a champion if it wasn't just my father could do that. You know, I don't think any other coach because. I think the Valide personality needs somebody like my father too, you know?
They just both, it was perfect combination.
Well, my daddy pushed him hard. My dad pushed everybody hard, you know? And then mostly people break. Oh. Valide didn't break, you know? And many other my fathers, they are very tough too, you know? That's why we have the dream team.
Yes.
So there's many tough fighters in many different class weights and many nobody ever even heard about, and they're amazing. You know, so many guys. And
that's the one thing, and it was funny because Professor Suyan and Professor Carlson.
Suyan's already a different generation.
Yeah, you know? But he would tell me
was my student in Brazil.
They would tell me stories about that era. Of that.
Before then, one or two before was really tough people. You know, Fernando Pinduca, very tough. Rosado.
And he would mention that there was so many people that if you like, he'll post or people will post pictures of, 10 guys without their shirts, and people probably know like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, oh, who is that? And they're like, oh, those guys are names that you never, that's some of the toughest people.
I'm telling you, man, my father's school, even as a dentist, was tough. The guy worked there all day in the office and go train with my father. My dad have that touch. He see in your heart, and he look at you, and he say, oh, he tough. He has in him. So I train him, he gonna be champion. He just have to have in you. That's all he needed for. Mm-hmm. And then he transform you to the champion.
He'll find it in you.
If you have the heart, he has a heart. He not quit. Okay, give him to me. In 1 year, he'll be waiting.
How was the style? Was it a lot of drills? A lot of like the same move?
Sparring.
A lot of sparring.
Yeah, okay. And a lot of specific sparring too.
Like situations, like
situations. Spar. Theory is one thing. In action is a whole different thing. You go in the internet nowadays, you see people showing moves. You look like, what the hell? I can picture my daddy say like, what are you doing when he do all this? You're not gonna do anything? You're gonna look at the guy? I mean, it's very magical. Looks so beautiful. It's nice, but realistically, it's a whole different thing. In the real life, when you fight somebody, come on, you can see. You just Google a little bit in the internet and look. So, oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, but you can't do that.
Someone gonna smash your face in.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 guys can do, but you have to looking up for average. When you go teach, okay, you go teach for a group, so you have to show a move where the group be able to do it, But if you see this guy has an extra talent, you can pick him at the side and work with him at the side. But your job is to teach your students the basic foundation where they can grow after that, And then you start picking them and, model them the way you want. Mm-hmm. So he has a better game, so you start working with him. You pick him at the side. But some people, they just want to have a regular time for training,
Just do the move and then...
like back in the days, for many years, the MMA was, they call the Vale Tudo, was, was sleeping back in Brazil. So where it restart everything was in 1991 when they have the big challenge between the luta livre and jiu-jitsu in 1991. So where my father was the trainer for the guys represent jiu-jitsu against luta livre. Mm-hmm. So that's when they fire up again, the whole thing about...
So, and I like that story because it's something... Everybody's really into the history of jiu-jitsu, the history of this, and that's an era that the more people that I talk to in the podcast and everywhere just get to know, it's really been. We could have been doing Vale Tudo, right? Or Luta Libre right now if that didn't come out the way it did.
Oh yeah.
If that era. If you hear the fights in the beaches and all the real and all that,
like I said earlier, it was necessary. Mm-hmm. We have it to prove. It's back then it was all about challenge. Like I remember my father, always have a challenges when he was his career. And that's the same way he built up the team. So always take a challenge for different styles and different people. So that was the main goal was be ready to defend what you have, So we go tournaments, but we train for fight. If you have to come up and fight a Muay Thai guy or a kickboxer guy or karate guy or whatever guy. So, So time to time, they have a few challenge. Whenever it started sleeping a little bit, they moving up to try take over again, and then we have to go beat them again. So That's how the history goes. Whenever they try waking up, we go beat them again, and then jiu-jitsu, in the top again.
Gotta bring it
So
up.
then in 1991, they came to the UFC, and then Royce proved the efficiency of jiu-jitsu, and then explode. And now we're here. And everywhere. It's popping up, not only in America, all over the world.
Yes.
All over the world is academies. You go, let's see, Tasmania Island, they have a jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
All the way up to Australia.
Yeah, and then the era in jiu-jitsu now, is it something where you like where it's going, where it's how jiu-jitsu is growing? Is it growing too fast?
Seriously, people could say, he liked the way he's going because maybe he making money in there. But it's not this. It's just to see something what my family develop becomes so helpful for so many people, So many people come, like I said earlier, like they come with different objectives, They might have a diabetes and they need to do some exercise. They might be fat and want to lose weight. They might be bullied for somebody, and then, people have anxiety. People have it's out there. It's out there. Nobody talk about it, but it's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody like to say, I'm sick because I'm this, I'm that. Nobody like to talk about it. Nobody like to talk about bad things, just good things. So when they come into the jiu-jitsu school, they find so many people with the same different problems too. So they say, my eyes not that bad. So, everybody has problems. So if you're not looking up, at least for the most important is you're healthy. If you're not healthy, you cannot solve no problems for any whatsoever, Yeah. So you come here, you find everybody happy and having fun, a good environment, a good exercise. You stay hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I have so many of my students, I'm getting in trouble with my wife, I have to go home. But, you don't want to leave. You want to be here.
That's every time we get yelled at, like, hey, when are you coming home?
The best way is bring the wife to train too. And that's will become fun,
Oh, yeah, that's how it is now with us, too. Even my wife trains. And
but this is like in our family, it's kind of tradition, the son learn for the father, and in the future, they teach the kids. So it's not everybody in the Gracie family is a champion, but everybody in the Gracie family practice jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great thing. It's been proven, like people love it, and they see the effectiveness as many different ways you can look at it, Like I said earlier, people coming for different objectives.
Yeah, and that's because when we were in the promotions, we saw a couple of people that got promoted to blue belt.
They couldn't even cry. They couldn't even talk.
Yeah, you see that. Well, and we know it because we know it because we've seen what they've been through. We've seen their first day when they were, their belt, and you saw that, a lot of them kept the same belt. They kept the same white belt to remind them where they, and it's like down to their knees, and they didn't want a new white belt because that's how they, hey, I lost 60 pounds. That belt represents
some
that.
Of these guys,
or some people and some people are just you mentioned like physically healthy too, but I like it because people miss the aspect of maybe lost weight. It goes, but also too mentally.
It is many things because you build up self-confidence. Nobody like to be like a super fat and don't looking good or. People
Feeling
make
good,
up. You get up in the bed, you barely can get up. Sit on the floor, you don't sit because you can't get up.
Yeah.
So it's many things. Like you have to understand, whoever have a jiu-jitsu school, whoever walk in your door, they looking for something, and it's your job to help them. You're gonna be there for them, talk to them, make sure they get what they need, and don't look it up for the financial. You gotta get paid because that's your job, but. If you just look in the financial part and then take the fun of the thing,
Yeah, and do you is that one thing that you tell your student, not your student, but your black belts, like, hey, if you're going to open a school or a black belt?
Well, I tell them they have to give themselves to the students, as long as they get paid. It's a trade. You go for a gym, okay? If you pay a gym, you work out by yourself, or you want a personal trainer. You got to pay for sessions. Here we do monthly fee. It's like a gym, but you have a structure all together. You're not coming just to use the mat. You learn something for the rest of your life. It's a something you keep for the rest of your life. And that can become your own job, like a become in America. So many people work in Jiu-Jitsu. And not just only academies, with the Army, police departments, you know. Some companies, they hire people to teach self-defense or some kind of workout. You can use this for many things.
Yeah, there's a lot of like you mentioned, police departments. They're teaching jiu-jitsu. They have jiu-jitsu teams.
Yeah,
they teach jiu-jitsu because, for one, you're not forced to arrest somebody by punching their face in.
Yeah. No, you're more confident.
Them.
You're more confident.
Yeah.
You know, if you get engaged in a fight, you gotta be ready.
Yeah. And that's the one thing too is people, and that's the one thing that your first month or two, you're not used to somebody grabbing you or being right in your face or someone dripping sweat on top of you.
Fight somebody when you don't know what to do can go either way. Can go good for you or bad for you. Imagine somebody mounting you don't know how to get out.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. You're in the pavement outside. Somebody punch you in the face or elbow in your face and you hit the head on the floor. That's not good. Cannot be good.
Yeah.
Cannot be good for basically. So when they come here, they start learning how protect themselves. So that's where it's very interesting for the police departments, even for the fire department too, you know.
Yeah, physically too.
Because you never know who's gonna call you.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta hold
first
somebody.
call, they go to the fire department, they walk in the house, help somebody. When you get there, the guy crazy wanna punch you.
Yeah.
Got a knife in their hand or
Yeah,
something.
we have and that's true because you always see we have a huge fire department team and a police team, a lot of police officers here that train with us too. And they say when they use it, it's
I training for many years. The North Carolina whole state ground system, weapon rotation, and disengagement, and they love it, and they all start learning jiu-jitsu too. So they have a huge program there. From what do? We don't call jiu-jitsu. I say, look, if this is not jiu-jitsu, this is a program, basic and advanced program for self-defense and ground control, disengage for situation, protect the weapon, make sure you understand, protect against punches and stuff like that. So you never know. When you stop the guy in the street, you don't know who you're getting. He might get out of the car and try chase you, try fight you, and you have the weapons, and if you don't know how to protect the weapons, he gonna throw in the floor, he gonna get your weapon, gonna shoot you. Believe it or not, statistically, more police officers die for their own gun than anything else.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
The criminals get down, get their own gun, and shoot them.
Yeah.
It's time to start learning some self-defense,
Yeah, and actually that happened to back where I'm from, a agency where I was lived at, an officer there, someone that I knew. Same thing happened. Unfortunately, his weapon was taken away.
Because even the police officer is the police officer. He has rules he has to follow. The criminal, he's already know he's gonna be in trouble. So you never know. He might act calm, or he don't want to go to jail. And some people don't care about anything.
Yeah,
you never know who you get it.
Yeah,
it's a surprise, big surprise.
Yeah, and you don't even have to be a police officer. We could walk outside and go to Albertsons next door, and we might get somebody there.
Want to fight too?
Yeah.
But at least we don't have a gun.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully not.
You're just gonna probably get smashed. Somebody gonna come and separate.
Yeah, but I know you have a busy. You're heading out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to Las Vegas to visit Romulo. Great guy too. He has an amazing school. He got a new school now. I'm gonna go visit for the first time, and Romulo do a great job too.
You have a great team there.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. I always love to go there, so I'm heading out to there.
Yeah, I thought that's awesome.
Then I'll go visit the Carlson Gracie Sacramento. It's a new school too.
Is that with
Felipe Bragião?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go visit him. He's opening a new school too.
And then
and
Joe.
then I go see Diogo in
Yes.
Oakland. Yeah,
In Oakland. That's where my brother's at, so you'll
Yeah.
meet him there too.
yeah, they're all great guys, man.
Yes, I haven't been up there yet though, but I definitely Oakland's on the list to go
Mm-hmm.
visit, and we're gonna go check it out too. But
So you know, like it's just you know, I think now at the moment, the Carlson Gracie team is growing a lot. You know, we organize everything in Brazil, and we're regrouping here in America. You know, and we have a lot of people actually join our team. I think you know, so many people give me credibility for what I do, but I think without the support, you know, nobody can do nothing. You know, just like here at the moment to thanks all the people being follow me and respecting my opinion about things, and you know, and I like when they actually express themselves what they feel about it, for I be able to actually explain to them why I have to be that. You know, so I'm just trying to organize the team into everybody be happy and one big family. You know, like supposed to be. You know, so and right now I think is like one of the best moments of the team. You know, we're growing strong, and it's not you know, people on our team like people actually don't connect. So we have a good friendship, a good relationship between everybody.
yeah, it's a great time for the team
Yeah,
and
so-
jiu-jitsu in general.
So we're gonna
and-
push. I gotta push hard for next year World Master, for everybody to sign up again. So I'm planning to do it
This
too.
year coming up?
No, next
Next
year.
year
This year I don't have time.
Oh yeah, it's getting busy.
So for next year, yeah. So and then I'm gonna do it.
Well, we'll definitely see you there. That's for sure. We'll be
Yeah.
there. Ryan will be competing there. I'm sure he'll be there. At the, now and now that they do a Vegas Open, they do the Masters Worlds, they do
And
a
then-
white belt, and then
yeah.
they do the kids.
It's very nice. It's all together.
Yes,
It's
I
a
like
very-
it. It's huge.
It's like 4 days of jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
It's love. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. You know, like for me, the Master Worlds is like so much fun because I get to see so many people like I don't see for. I mean, I will not say for years, but just to meet them again every year. So we already waiting for the Master World is amazing.
And everybody that's in the Masters, they always say, you see the respect between the Masters competitors.
Yeah.
It's different than a lot of when you see it to an adult division. Some adult
Man,
divisions.
the tournament is tough, man. You know, it's like so many tough guys, man. So many tough guys.
Yeah, and then it's
amazing.
People don't. That's the thing is like a lot of those people are the mom and the dads that have full-time jobs that they work till 6 and train from 6:15 to every day. They try to raise families. And that's the people that go there. That's why I like. It's fun to go see the world.
You feel fresh when you go there.
Yeah, and see, like
so
hey,
many
that person
people,
has the same.
so much fun.
They're trying to pay the bill. They're trying to pay their mortgage. They're trying to raise their kids too.
There's so much involved, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's a great, awesome time that and especially how much it's grown. I mean, there's 24 mats. I mean, Worlds doesn't have 24 mats. The regular adult Worlds don't have.
That place is humongous.
Yes,
it's very hard to coach. I would like to say to the people for my team, I would like to coach you all, but it's impossible. I can't be in 24 mats at the same time.
it's all day.
So
every
that's
day.
that the support come, for the team. We get everybody there, support the team. You see the bulldog in the back, you go there and help.
Yes,
that's the spirit.
And it's one of the funniest things too is that it's like the only patch that people put on that aren't even part of the team.
Yeah.
It's like they put it on.
They love the
bulldog.
They respect my father.
They respect your father and they respect the history of it. And that's like the only time like sometimes we'll be like, oh, who's that over there? They need a coach. Or like, I have no idea. Who is that? They're like,
but he has the patch.
But he has the patch. Like, okay, well, let's go.
Yes, man. Yes. What my daddy did for the sport was great. He created this motivation about fight. Him everything is about competition. Not only jiu-jitsu, anything. You know, anything he'll do, he want to win. And he wants his team to win if he has a team involved. So that's all he care about. You know, and I think so many guys experience the training under my father is unforgettable. You know, it's nothing can explain. It's not a word you can explain what it is and what it was, you know?
And that's, I like, because that's the only, there's very few people that are been in jiu-jitsu that I hear that about. And
he was loved for all the teams, not just for his own team.
Yeah, exactly.
For everybody, any team with respect.
Yeah,
because he was very fair. You know, many times in the tournament, if his student lose, he just say, no, the other guy. So switch, my guy lose. You know,
yeah, you don't say that.
No, he's the only guy who could actually change the result.
No, my guy lost.
My guy lost. Switch. But
yeah, he didn't deserve to do it.
He don't deserve to win. Well, go understand, right? But that means he's a fair person.
It's a fair, yeah.
You know, I don't think nobody should lose if they win, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
No cheating involved.
Yeah. All right, Master Carlson, we appreciate you taking the time. I know you got a flight to catch.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was great, and I hope the podcast keep it growing.
Yes.
And if I know anybody around, you should interview her. I'll let you know.
We look forward to it, and look forward to the next time. We look forward to hopefully seeing in Chicago, and Ryan wants to go to Chicago and train and compete again.
The tournament is in May 19th, I think.
Yeah, it's the week of his birthday.
Oh.
Of Chicago, so.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right, it'll be fun.
Yeah, he went last year.
I remember.
Yeah, he won last year. He went up there.
So I just want to say hi to the Carlson Gracie fans and for the people who have been follow the Bulldogs now and competing under the flag. So I really appreciate you guys actually join the team and stay with us. And we're looking up to grow and be, the best we can. That's all we're looking for. Thank you guys, and talk to you guys later. Oos!
All right, guys. So
my ears was hurting.